Alright, y'all, so I'm back with another quick Bible reading. I'm on Matthew 27, page 100 to 101, to Matthew 28, I guess. And again, today I'm in the house because I just wanted to watch a movie with my grandma and chill today, so tomorrow maybe I'll see if I want to go outside, but if not, I'll just do the same thing. I'll just chill here, and then I'll read some of my New Testament, and tomorrow when I go outside, then I'll read some of my Old Testament. But for now, I'm going to try to do 4 pages real quick. And again, hopefully I'll record some video. I wanted to do Subnautica, but there's nothing to really do in the game just yet. So we'll see how that goes. And then, I'll just see what game I want to record, and then I'll edit one. But for now, I'm just going to start right here. We're on Pilate questions Jesus. Jesus stood before the Roman governor, who questioned him. "Are you the king of the Jews?" he asked. "So you say," answered Jesus. But he said nothing in response to the accusations of the chief priests and elders. So Pilate said to him, "Don't you hear all these things they accuse you of?" But Jesus refused to answer a single word, with the result that the governor was greatly surprised. Jesus is sentenced to death. At every Passover festival, the Roman governor was in the habit of setting free any one prisoner that the crowd asked for. At that time, there was a well-known prisoner named Jesus Barboas. Barboas. So when the crowd gathered, Pilate asked them, "Which one would you want me to set free first?" "Which one do you want me to set free for you, Jesus Barboas or Jesus called the Messiah?" He knew very well that the Jewish authorities had handed Jesus over to him because they were jealous. While Pilate was sitting in the judgment hall, his wife sent him a message: "Have nothing to do with that innocent man, because in a dream last night I suffered much on account of him." The chief priests and the elders pursued the crowd to ask Pilate to set Barboas free, and the crowd Jesus put... Wait, what? Oh, sorry. Okay, I read that completely wrong. The chief priests and the elders persuaded the crowd to ask Pilate to set Barboas free and to have Jesus put to death. But Pilate asked the crowd, "Which one of these do you want me to set free for you?" "Barboas," they answered. "What then shall I do with Jesus called the Messiah?" Pilate asked them. "Crucify him," they all answered. But Pilate asked, "What crime has he committed?" Then they started shouting at the top of their voices, "Crucify him." When Pilate saw that it was no use to go on, but that a riot might break out, he took some water, washed his hands in front of the crowd, and said, "I am not responsible for the death of this man. This is your doing." The whole crowd answered, "Let the responsibility for his death fall on us and our children." Then Pilate set Barboas free for them, and after he had Jesus whipped and handed him over to be crucified. The soldiers make fun of Jesus. Then Pilate's soldiers took Jesus into the governor's palace, and the whole company gathered around him. They stripped off his clothes and put a scarlet robe on him. Then they made a crown out of thorny branches and placed it on his head, and put a stick on his right hand. Then they knelt before him and made fun of him. "Long live the King of the Jews," they said. They spat on him and took the stick and hit him over the head. When they had finished making fun of him, they took off the robe and put his own clothes back on him. Then they led him out to be... My reading is terrible today, I'm not going to lie, sorry about that. Hit him over the head. When they had finished making fun of him, they took the robe off and put his own clothes back on him. Then they led him out to crucify him. Jesus is crucified. As they were going out, they met a man from Cyrene named Simon, and the soldiers forced him to carry Jesus' cross. They came to a place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. There they offered Jesus wine mixed with bitter substance. But after tasting it, he would not drink it. They crucified him and then divided his clothes among them by throwing dice. After that, they sat there and watched him. Above his head, they put the written notice of the accusation against him. This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. Then they crucified 2 bandits with Jesus, one on his right and the other on his left. People passing by shook their heads and hurled insults at Jesus. You were going to tear down the temple and build it back up in 3 days? Save yourself if you are God's son. Come on down from the cross. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. Shook their head down on the cross. In the same way, the priests, the chief priests, and the teachers of the law and the elders made fun of him. He saved others, but he cannot save himself. Isn't he the King of Israel? If he will come down off the cross now, we will believe in him. He trusts in God and claims to be God's son. Well then, let us see if God wants to save him now. Even the bandits who had been crucified with him insulted him in the same way. The death of Jesus. At noon, the whole country was covered with darkness, which lasted for around 3 hours. At about 3 o'clock, Jesus cried out with a loud shout, Allahi, Allahi, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why did you abandon me? Some of the people standing there heard him and said, he is calling for Allah. One of them ran up at once and took a sponge, soaked it in cheap wine, and put it at the end of a stick. He tried to make him drink it, but the others said, wait, let us see if Allah is coming to save him. Jesus again gave a loud cry and breathed his last. Then the curtain hanging in the temple was torn in 2 from top to bottom. The earth shook, the rocks split apart, the graves broke open, and many of God's people who had died were raised to life. They left the graves, and after Jesus rose from death, they went into the holy city, where many people saw them. When the army officer and the soldiers with him who were watching Jesus saw the earthquakes and everything else that happened, they were terrified and said he really was the Son of God. And now I do think different Bibles have different manuscripts for this, like they have different, either it tells different stories of what happened or it just kind of tells more about this, because I know that there was 2 people that were crucified next to Jesus, and I think one of them said something good to Jesus, but I'm not too sure. I just have I'm pretty sure this is like an American Bible, so I don't really trust a lot of this stuff in this country, but, it is what it is. So, that's all I'm going to be doing for today. That was about 4 pages, 8-minute video, so I'm pretty happy with that. But tomorrow I'm going to try to come back, and I'm going to try to read my Old Testament outside a little bit, and this Old Testament actually has the New Testament in it as well, so I might just start reading the Old Testament more, because I do need to get better, and I've already read this Bible more, but I'll just see what happens. So, again, thank you guys so much for watching. God bless you guys. And again, if you are continuing to fight with sin, keep going. Don't let yourself give up. And I will tell you this as somebody who has done a lot of horrible things in my life. And again, if I'm being real, I've hurt a lot of people. I'm 19 right now, and I've done a lot of bad things. I've stolen, I've hurt people, I've cussed people out, I've said horrible things to people, I've made fun of people, I've been made fun of. I've just done a lot of horrible things throughout my whole life. And honestly, I'm at the point now where I do want to be a good person. I want to be better, because now that I'm having all this grief, I wish that I could go back in time and change a lot. I wish that I was a better friend to a lot of people. I wish that I didn't say a lot of things to certain people. I just wish that I was better. And it's honestly, it has been weighing down on me a lot, but I'm not about to cry for myself and, boo-hoo, because I did what I did knowing what it was, like, I knew it was wrong. I knew I shouldn't have done a lot of the things that I've done, and I knew it was going to hurt me, and I still did it. But now I do want to be better, because I've just done things that I regret badly, and I wish if I could go back in time, I would change so much. So if you're hearing this, just don't let yourself make these mistakes. Try your hardest to fight against these thoughts. Try your hardest to fight against anything that's telling you to do something wrong. Do the best you can to try to break out of that, because all of us, we all have to realize, dude, hating each other doesn't matter. It's never, I want to love people, you know, and I want to be loved. I want to get the love that I've given out, because I've gone through a lot of stuff in my life, and I've been, I've had a lot of bad things happen. I've done a lot of bad things, so it's just hate never does anything good for anybody. So there's no point in hating somebody, I'm trying my hardest to forgive everybody that I can, because I don't really have anything against anybody, but I know a lot of people, I've done wrong, and I'm not going to say that I hope they forgive me, because I don't deserve that at all, but I hope that I can show everybody that I'm trying to be better, and I hope that people realize that I do want to be good. So I'm just trying my hardest at that. I'm trying to battle a lot of sin right now, so it's just hard for me to deal with, but I'll tell you right now, with God, anything is possible. A couple years ago, I was doing way worse, so everything is possible through God, and I do believe that. But I also do believe if you are having certain issues, you should go to a therapist about it, talk to somebody about it, talk to your parents about it if they're understanding, talk to somebody who won't judge you, somebody who you really trust, okay? But again, God bless you guys all. Keep fighting. Keep trying to stay strong every day. Do something, go outside a little bit, I'm probably going to go outside again in a little bit when I smoke here, and it's, no matter what, I am using weed as sort of like a crutch, because whenever I feel like I need it, I immediately go to smoke it, and I'm getting better with that though, kind of. I don't really feel like I need weed exactly, I just don't really want to stop right now, which is dumb, because I should, so I'm going to keep trying to battle with that as well. So I love you guys, and I thank you guys so much for watching this video, and again, keep fighting, keep staying strong. God bless you all, and I pray for you guys this month and your week. So, peace out, and hopefully I'll have a gaming video out later on today.